Good evening and welcome to all the participants joined in the daily virtual program on work-life balance conducted by Professional Skills Enrichment Committee of Institute of Chartered Accountant of India in association with Heartfulness. We have with us today's resource person, Mr. Rupesh Sharma sir, and our expert, Mr. Deepak Khanduri sir, and CA Pradeep Gupta sir from Heartfulness. With this, I am introducing Rupesh Sharma sir. He is a pharmaceutical business leader from last 25 years and has been associated with diverse range of business development leadership responsibility with reputed pharmaceutical organization. He worked in the top management roles with reputed pharmaceutical companies such as USV Limited, Apple Therapeutics Limited, and Lark Laboratories India Limited. Currently, he is president with United Biotech Group, Delhi for subsidiary Umano Healthcare Private Limited. He is a pharmacy graduate from Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar. He has been Heartfulness practitioner since 2014 and Heartfulness trainer since 2018. He is also a coordinator for NCR of Heartfulness Education Trust and facilitator with Heartfulness Communication. With this brief introduction, I am hand over the session to Mr. Rupesh Sharma sir.
So thank you for the respected organizers, the members in the ICIA committee for giving the opportunity for me to share my thoughts with you. And I welcome to all the ICIA member and the participant in this call today. We have been observing these sessions of habits and meditation from last 1 week, and today is the sixth session that we've been sharing with you. It's a summarized session. I'll be summarizing the techniques, the brief on various of sharing that we have shared so far. So let me share my slides with you, and from there I'll take this forward. So welcome again to the day 6 of habits and meditation summary. We started all of our, let me start first that these habits program are primarily influenced by this book, Atomic Habits, from James Clear. It's one of the international bestseller book. The technique and other things that we have been sharing, it's mainly been driven through this particular book. And the other are sharing are mainly driven through from heartfulness meditation practices. So moving ahead, let me first start this presentation with the statement of a very renowned psychiatrist and the psychotherapist from Switzerland, Swiss, a very renowned one, Dr. Carl Jung. Now he said that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it a fate. So the challenge remains that how we can make the unconscious conscious. Until unless we will remain dependent on fate, our success and failures then will be mainly driven through fate. We are not conscious what is working and what is not working. And when we are able to make this unconscious conscious, then we are the driver of our lives. So with these habits and the practice of meditation help us to make this unconscious conscious, and consciously we made our fate and we set our destiny. We started this session by the introduction of the surprising power of tiny habits. I would like to share a story with all of you before we start further. I'm sure most of us heard about the British cycling. And the British cycling organization is there for more than almost 125 years. They were started somewhere in 1908. From 1908 to till 2003, in almost this 95 years, they could able to won only won Olympic gold in the cycling competition, and they could never able to win any Tour de France, which is an annual event. We all are aware, one of the most popular event in the cycling. And somewhere in 2003, they changed the director, and there a person called as Dave Bracefield. He joined as a performance director with British Cycling, and he he brings so many tiny changes in the function that they've been working so far in their entire operation in terms of cycling. Either it is in training or in health or in nutrition and even the structure of the bicycle itself. He bring many minor changes. The idea was to make those tiny changes which can at least enhance 1% of the performance of the cycle, the entire activity. And that was the result that then after they could able to win 12 Tour de France medals and they could able to win 3 Olympic gold medals. And British cycling become one of the most reckoning power in the cycling competitive industry. So this is all speak about the power that the tiny habits have, small habits. So when we talk about tiny habits, trying to make ourselves at least a very with a tiny effort. When we say tiny means 1%. Whatever my effort level is, if I can add 1% more and improvise myself towards my goal, which I am looking forward to, and if we are able to add every 1% on every day, and look at this graph speaks that our performance will enhance by 37.78 times. And on the other side, if this is 1% worse, and if we are losing our pace by 1% on every given day, we will be losing our productivity by as high as 300% downside. So these marginal changes, this compound interest affects largely even these small changes. That is the power of tiny habits. Now, why we look forward for change? The idea is always for the better side of us. If we look at the overall of our change, where we're looking at the behavioral change, there are three layers of behavioral change. Most of us recognize these changes with outcomes. Supposedly, I want to lose a weight. I am more focused at how much I have lost on an everyday basis, on a compounding basis. The focus remains on the outcome. Though the outcome is driven through the other things, there are certain their focus of intention remain on process that okay, I will do this, then this will be the outcome. Okay, that's fine. The process will lead to the outcome. But again, there is something beneath this which is initiating this process. So the innermost layer of our behavior change is identity. The way we look ourselves. What is our belief for ourselves? If I'm looking forward to lose weight and I'm on a I'm on a weight that I I then I can say no, I am going to lose weight. I'm in on this particular diet. I have to believe that I'll be able to do this. If there are doubts, there are less chances that I'll be able to do this. Let me put it in this particular way. Now, supposedly, if I give you a situation where there are three friends, the three all of these friends are trying to quit smoking, and they are discussing with each other. Now, one of them offers cigarette, and when he offers cigarette, rest of the two of them, the first one said, "Okay, no, I will not take cigarette because I'm trying to uh, give up smoking." That was the response. Another say, "No, I will not take up cigarette because I have quit smoking." Now, in this process, understand who is be there having a higher chances for quit smoking. The person who is saying that I am trying to quit smoking, or a person who said that I have quit smoking. There is a difference of belief only within both of them. So this identity, this belief made a very big change in the overall thinking, the attitude. The attitude leads to change in the desired processes. And when there is a change in the desired process, we are able to have the desired outcome. Scientifically, if we talk about, there are four laws of behavior change. This all we have. I'm going to recap. We I have we have shared in the previous sessions. Now, let me explain once again these four laws of behavior change, and in order to understand it better, let me share one more story to you. Now, this story is for one of the paramedical staff. This paramedical staff, female paramedical staff, she met her father-in-law at one particular event after a period of time. And when she met him, suddenly she feels something not desirable at his face, and she said, "Oh, what has happened to you? You are not looking okay." So that was the response from the paramedical staff lady to her father-in-law. And in response to her father-in-law said, "No, no, I am fine. But what about you? Rather, you are not looking fine to me." He responded jokingly to her. Gradually, after almost 1 hour, the father-in-law, he has a massive heart attack and he has to get admitted in the hospital. And somehow, since his uh, daughter-in-law was the paramedical staff, he could able to survive. Now, what I'm trying to share with you, this paramedical staff, that lady, she has been working in a hospital where there are very frequent visits of the patients those have a massive heart attacks. During the heart attack time, the blood flow start flowing more towards the heart, and it start flowing lesser to the peripheral organs like face, hands, feet. And there is a change in color with our face and our hands start become pale in color. These all events happen prior than the heart attack. Now, in this, since she has been coming through all these events very frequently, so her brain could able to identify those events in advance when she saw her father-in-law, and she could able to recognize it. Her intuition helped her, though her father take it jokingly. So I am just trying to influence that that's the way our brain works. Our brain is continuously observing the inner and outer environment. And this inner and outer environment, the brain pick up those information which is relevant to our intention. The brain catalog that particular information into a subconscious mind, and it remain into a system. And if it somehow helps us or somehow take us forward, and there are repeated actions, then it become a repeated patterns in our system, and those can be easily uh, come out without any effort, which we say a habit. So in this habit formation, there are four steps mainly. And all these happen in a subconscious way. We are not aware about it. Every habit formation is start with some particular trigger where brain had seen one trigger, and somehow that activity is helping me in some other direction where I have a craving to do that particular activity and it is satisfying. And if it is happen repeatedly, then it become a habit. So broadly, it divides into four parts. Cue means the trigger. Craving means my temptation to do that activity. Response, if I have not to make much efforts and it become easier, that is the response part of it. And reward, any activity which is rewarding us, which is satisfying us up to certain extent, and it is repeated in nature, that become a habit. If it is not satisfying us, it will not get repeated. And once it will not get repeated, it will not be get satisfied. So these are the four steps in any habit formation: a trigger, a temptation, and then a response, which is usually in the easier side, and then a reward. Now, how this information understanding help us? This understanding help us in order to how I can create good habits and how I can break bad habits. So if I use all these four laws of cue, craving, response, and reward, those were habits which I want to make consciously as my part of my routine. So I'll try to do, I'll try to make those cues, those triggers obvious, means those are present all around. I'll make them attractive. I'll discuss this in detail in my subsequent slides. I'll make it easy so that I could able to do. That's why we talk about the tiny habits, as they are taking very small efforts. And it has to be satisfying. Once it is satisfying, only then it will be repeated. Rather, on the other side, if I have to remove any habit, I have to make that particular habit invisible. I have to make it unattractive. On the opposite side of it, make it difficult and make it unsatisfying. So, how I can make it obvious, how I can make it attractive, how I can make it easy, how I identify, how I can make it satisfying. That is all about my further slides are going to share with you. Now, there is one system which we say is a point and calling system. What is point and calling system? Whenever we look forward to bring a change in our daily patterns, we want to remove some bad habits and we want to add one. In order to do that, first we need to know about our habit scorecard. What are the habits I am following since I wake up from my bed till the time I go to my bed? Every tiny habits you need to bring from subconscious to our conscious mind. Write it down on the piece of paper, and it will be even good if you can call it loudly so that it come out from your subconscious to your conscious mind. So if you can chart down, it may take half an hour to 1 hour. If you can bring down all the steps from since morning to the night on a piece of paper and find out what are those habits which are not required and which are taking us in some other direction. So we say it's in a habit scorecard. Once we are able to make it, then we are able to make it the changes that we want to do. So make it a habit scorecard. Say allow to reduce errors by up to 85% and raises a level of awareness from unconscious habit to a conscious habit. Now, once we identified, supposedly, I want to add a habit of meditation. Now, I have given some example. I want to meditate at 7 a.m. in my drawing room. Now, supposedly, I want to add this habit into my current structure, where at around 6:45 a.m. I am having a habit to have a sip of coffee, and then after coffee, I want to meditate. Supposedly, I plan that I'll meditate in the morning, and I have not set the time and location. Will I able to repeat it on the next day? The chances are very less. So, if we are able to tag any good habit and sandwich among two habits, two behaviors, it becomes easy to apply those habits. So if I say I will meditate 7 a.m. in my drawing room, time and location, it becomes easier. Similarly, I will be studying biology 7 p.m. in my bedroom. I will exercise 5 p.m. in my local park. I am sharing various techniques how first we need to identify habits and then set it into our arrangement, set into a system. And the environment plays a bigger role in this. If you can't seem to get any work done, leave your phone in another room for a few hours. See, let me again share one example with all of us here. Have you seen that all of the bad habits, even drinking or smoking in the age of teenage, all we have picked up through the time in the group, though it was not planned. Or even the good habits like meditation, reading, journaling, walking. If supposedly you have in a company of such people, it becomes easier to inculcate. Those are looking forward to for a better nutrition or to lose weight. They are always been supported to join those groups, those set of people. Those are also looking to add those habits. So environment made a bigger change and help us to add or remove habits. So if you are continually, now there are examples, supposedly, if you are continually feeling you are not enough and stop following social media account, those are trigger jealousy and envy. So if you don't want to feeling that you feel, if you're feeling that into the entire day you're feeling jealous and envy, it's better do not follow those social media accounts. Those are creating such feeling. If your time is going to watch television, move out of the bedroom. Most of the time, if you've been there in bedroom and there is a TV, you will end up watching the TV itself. So it is better to change the environment that we are looking forward to. We want to read a book. It's always good if you keep a book in the side of our bed. Every habit is initiated by a cue, as I have already said, and more likely to notice cue that stand out in the environment. Now, I want to pick up the book reading habit. If that book is very close to me, where there is a least effort, I'll be able to implement that. I said I'll read this particular book at the night at 10 p.m., the first two pages. Now, if it is there in the close by, it will be easier to me to pick up that book and go through it. On the other side, if I want to remove certain habits, if I want that I don't want to end up eating much cookies and namkeen in my room, then I can replace it with fruit. If those are not available, it becomes easier to set those habits. I don't want to watch TV, so I can place the remote in other part of the room so that it take more effort. So make it invisible in case of remove habits and make it visible in case of if you want to add habits. So once a habit is formed, it is unlikely to be forgotten. A practical way to eliminate any bad habit is to reduce exposure, to remove the cue. Self-control is short-term strategy, but it doesn't work in long term. This self-control. The better is those things which are triggering our bad habits. If those can be removed, it becomes easier. Now, apart from the cue, moving to the next part of it, which is a temptation, which is a craving. Now, motivation to act. Every action is taken because of anticipation that precedes it, and it is craving that leads to the response. So, in this action, this motivation, which is creating this craving, any action is supposedly I want to add a habit. As I said, I want to add in a habit of meditation. If I keep start finding reels on YouTube which speaks about the benefits of meditation, it will be easier to inculcate that habit. And if you want to remove certain habit which doesn't serve me, and if I go to the social media and supposedly I don't want to have a more number of cup of tea during the entire day. And if you go to the Google and search it out, what are the harms if we are taking more cup of tea during the day or more cup of coffee during the day, the more you read about the various aspects, it will create a dissatisfaction, and it will help us to remove all this. So on the other side, to create or to move aside. So making new habits, make it more attractive. Rather on the opposite side, if you want to remove it, it's better that create that atmosphere, to read that type of things. I will leave these slides. Now, moving to the third part of it. We talked about first cue, then we talked about craving. The third part speaks about the easy. If any habit, if it is easy, no, we start with the tiny habits. So this is the thumb rule. Any habit, if it is easier to implement and it is rewarding, you will easily able to inculcate into your system. Now, how the social media has become so much popular? Because there is hardly any effort to press our finger on the phone. Rather, it is serving us in many ways in the sensual pleasures. It is giving us in the Facebook, we are giving approvals, recognition. Somebody recognize our post, we feel good about it. Someone like our post, we feel good about it. So we feel recognized, we feel there are approvals. On the other side, while watching various emotions, it is serving our to our pleasure. So with the least effort, it is serving our purpose. So it's been moving like a volcano. On the other side, similarly, if you want to start a new habit, supposedly you want to take a habit of walk in the morning walk. Now, morning walk, I never have. I want to just add this habit. Then even then you go 5 minutes. Start with the 5 minutes. Then you can keep on adding another 2 3 minutes or 5 minutes every day and see how are you moving. If you start even that you want to start, you have already been doing exercising for 20 minutes. I want to do it for 30 minutes. You can add another 2 minutes. You want to add yoga. You want to do yoga in the morning. Bring all this mat and everything. Those are required for yoga before night. Get it prepared. You want to move from your house at right time. If you prepare yourself in the night, it becomes easier to implement that. You want to read a book, we can start with one page. To easily write, any tiny things helps us to implement that behavior. And this attitude to do it in a perfect way, it always stop us to doing that activity. Perfection is not the focus here. Trying to find the optimal thing, fastest way, best thing, best idea, it never happens. So if you want to master a habit, the key is to start with repetition rather perfection. The perfection will come automatically later. The idea is to do that activity and repeat it again, and it get automated. Once we repeat it, the perfection will come automatically. And there is certain threshold when we repeat it, it becomes a habit. Then it becomes automated. It will not take much effort. So human nature is largely motivated to be lazy. The tiny habit concept is again related to this, that we are lazy people. We don't want to pay much efforts. So anything which have a least effort and the best productivity will take that route. And we want to conserve energy. Our brain doesn't want to lose energy also. So I have already shared these examples with you. And we don't want to create friction. The more easier will be the thing, the easier will be us to implement. So the idea is to have all these three things. Cue, remove it or keep it. If you want to have a habit, good habit, keep it. If you want to remove a habit, remove it. Cue, craving. I want to add a habit, I want to add craving. Read that material which supports it. I want to remove a bad habit, read a material which speaks about against it. And it create an inner environment accordingly. Supposedly, I want to have fruit, so keep fruit all around with you. So the environment, we make the environment and it helps us to implement. So the summary of my program is primarily for all these three things. That there is a neuroscience and psychology of habit formation, where tiny thing helps. Heartfulness practices helps to correct the inner causes. Now that there is a reward, as I said, something is rewarding to me. That's why we are repeating it. Now, which is the reward that I need to take forward, and which are those rewards which I do not want to take forward? There is a reward in productivity. If I'll invest the time on this much, this is the outcome. But there is a reward on in terms of adding time on Facebook and all, which is not required. Heartfulness practices helps us to find out the right way, which way I need to move and settle myself. So meditation and the powerful techniques of cleaning that we have shared in the earlier sessions, where we clean ourselves in the evening. While cleaning, we are able to remove the impressions. It settled us. It created an inner environment where we remove all jealousy, all hatredness, all those negative feelings which do not want in our system. In the morning, we meditate and add positivity into our system. And with this positivity, when we move ahead, it becomes easier to find out and easier to do various actions that we have shared so far in our 5 day sessions. So that's all about the habits program. And I would like to close it with the relaxation first, and it will be followed with the guided meditation. And I would urge all of you to please accompany me in this particular session. So please prepare yourself. So sit comfortably, whichever pose you are comfortable with, and bring your attention towards your feet. Now feel that a healing energy from the earth is entering into your feet, relaxing the feet, ankles, knees, and the entire portion of the lower legs. Now feel this healing energy move further upwards towards the upper part of the legs. Our thighs and our waist area is now getting touched. This healing energy move further upwards towards the back, from the tailbone to the head. Our entire back is now getting relaxed with the help of this divine energy. Now gently move your attention towards the stomach. Feel that all the organs in the stomach are getting healed, the muscles are getting relaxed. This energy move further upwards toward the chest and to the shoulders. Feel that all the stiffness in both the shoulders is melting off. This healing energy is now traveling towards both of the arms, upper arms, lower arms, hands, and fingertips. Now gently move your attention towards the neck muscles and relax them. Now move the attention towards the facial muscles, mouth, nose, eyes, ear, forehead, and top of it. Now scan your entire system and see that the entire body is totally relaxed. Now bring the attention towards the heart and stay there. While keeping our attention towards the heart, take a gentle thought or suggestion that the source of divine light is already there in my heart and it is pulling me inwards. I repeat, keeping our attention toward the heart with the heart full of love and surrender towards the divine. Take a gentle suggestion to ourselves that the source of divine light is already there in my heart and it is attracting me inwards. So we'll remain connected with this thought for another few minutes, approximate 15 to 20 minutes. During this time, if you observe some other thoughts, then do not pay attention to them. They will come and go like an uninvited guest. So let me repeat once again. While keeping our attention towards the heart, take a gentle thought that the source of divine light is already there in my heart and it is attracting me within. Please start meditation. That's all. Keep your eyes closed for another few seconds. Try to observe that how are we feeling inside. Take a mental note of our inner condition. And we may gently open our eyes. We can journal our meditation experience in our diary also. That always help us. That what was our inner condition before the meditation? What were my experience during the meditation? How I'm feeling after the meditation? What change has brought in my inner condition before and after meditation? It helps us to consciously aware this subtle process that how it is changing me inside. And to you practice for, there are many heartfulness resources available. The major one is the application, heartfulness application available in the App Store as well as in the Play Store. All are offering this trainer meditation with trainer guided meditation session like we have done now is available 24 into 7 at this application without any cost. Anytime you can log in and can meditate with trainer. You want to have an experience one-to-one trainer with you, you can find a trainer near you by this web mentioning heartfulness trainer you in the Google or the link that we have mentioned in this slide. You can take a screenshot also. There are YouTube channels which give various information. There is a Facebook page. There is a Heartfulness magazine free digital edition. You can www.heartfulnessmagazine.com. This is a beautiful magazine. The experts world over share their understanding on various topics which are very close to our day-to-day lives and are very helpful. There are various events, various programs keep on happening with Heartfulness. To know more about it, you can visit www.heartfulness.org. And every Sunday there are morning meditation session which starts usually 9 a.m. and we need to be available 15 minutes before. You can identify any hotspot close to you and you can go and meditate. All of the offerings are free. So thank you for joining me in this call and I hope that you must have enjoyed this session.
Sir, I have shared few questions in the chat box asked by the participants.
Okay. How do I change a behavioral habit that I have been doing for many, many years? Very appropriate question. The challenge is there. In order to change a behavioral habit, first we need to be conscious about where I need to make a change. So, as per the guidelines of the atomic habit, we need to make a chart, identify that particular habit, and then we see that how which are those triggers which end up doing that particular habit. we need to make this trigger remove from my environment so that there will be no trigger. So there are very less chances to that you end up doing this. And supposedly, if it is such trigger which you can't remove it, and then the other thing is that you lessen this craving as much as possible. You can consciously speak about yours to you that how it is affecting you largely. The technique of cleaning helps us a lot in order to do that. And for the awareness, meditation helps us further. The second question I can say is how do we measure progress or success when working on changing our habits? Journaling. Again, a very appropriate question. Meditation enhances our overall awareness where we are able to observe the subtle changes which is happening inside and the outer behavior changes we can measure. One habit which I have seen is really helped me is to before bedtime while connecting ourselves with our heart and observe the daily activity, what various steps I have taken on the day so far. Have I been moved in the direction that I was looking forward to? Where I need to bring a change? And when you see it critically, then you see that how much you can measure your progress. At times during the activity, we are not aware, but when we look at it on objectively, in a neutral perspective, when there is no hurry, then we are able to measure it more effectively. What strategies we have to use to develop a positive habit and how will they impact our daily life? Strategy remain to add a good habit. This technique of sandwiching the good habit in among our two routines, that is very useful. Adding time and location. I will do it on at that particular time at that particular day. Reading more about it so that you add more craving to do that. Creating an environment, be in that particular group. Those are doing the similar things. And start with tiny, small things. Do not want to be perfect. It will gradually happen automatically. Try to repeat it again and again. And it will surely impact our daily life. Once it becomes a habit, it will not take any of your energy. It become automated. It will happen automatically. So you will become more productive without adding any more effort after that time. So these are my inputs to you. So thank you again for being here. I'm sure all of you must uh, have a good experience of this habit session. You want to explore it further, must go through these atomic habits. And you will definitely would like to impress upon you to use these heartfulness techniques. They help us so effectively that to bring those changes inside become very easy with these techniques. And this awareness, we are able to know which direction we need to move. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for delivering this wonderful session. And thanks to all the participants who have joined this session. And also thanks to our experts for being with us throughout the session. With this, we are concluding this session. Thank you all.